American English is just packed with these colorful phrases, idioms, right? And sometimes it can be a bit confusing if you're not used to them.
Absolutely. They add so much flavor, but yeah, the meaning isn't always obvious from the words themselves.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into some really common ones. We're using Kayla's 200 Best American Idioms video. It's on English with Kayla as our guide.
Great resource. Our goal here is basically to help you understand these better, avoid those awkward misunderstandings, maybe even feel comfortable using a few yourself.
Exactly. We'll try not to overwhelm you, just, unpack some useful ones.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Okay, first up, buckle in. Now, it sounds like getting in a car, but it's not really about that, is it?
No, not usually. Buckle in means get ready, prepare yourself because something difficult or maybe intense is coming.
Right. Kayla had that great example from college, her biology professor.
Yeah, telling the whole class on day one to buckle in because, well, it was going to be a really tough semester.
It's like bracing yourself mentally. You might hear it in a meeting too, like, okay, team, big deadline coming, buckle in.
Precisely. It borrows that physical safety idea for an emotional or mental challenge. Very concise.
Okay, so from preparing for difficulty to maybe creating some, what about cut to the chase?
Ah, yes. This one means get to the main point. Stop rambling, basically.
Just tell me what I need to know.
Exactly. But Kayla made a really good point here. It can sound a bit blunt.
Yeah, maybe even rude, right, if someone's excited and telling a story.
You telling them to cut to the chase might shut them down a bit. It definitely prioritizes efficiency over maybe the relationship sometimes.
Good point. So use with caution. Depends on the context, I guess.
Definitely.
All right, next. The whole 9 yards. This was a bit odd, isn't it? 9 yards.
It is a bit quirky, but it means everything. All the details, the complete package, nothing left out.
Kayla used wedding planning as an example. Thinking about the venue, the food, the guests, the cake.
The whole 9 yards, everything involved in making the event happen, it implies being really thorough.
Even if we don't quite know where 9 yards came from originally.
Right, the origin's a mystery, but the meaning is super clear, covering all the bases.
Speaking of weddings, they can be expensive. Which leads us to cost an arm and a leg.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic. It just means something is incredibly expensive.
Like, ridiculously so. The price feels like a physical sacrifice.
Exactly. It's hyperbole, obviously, but it captures that feeling of, wow, that's a lot of money. Like Kayla said, weddings or maybe major home repairs.
Or even some fancy tech gadgets these days.
Yeah.
Okay, what if you're asking the wrong person for information?
Then you might be barking up the wrong tree.
I love the image of this one. Like a dog convinced a squirrel is in one tree, but it's actually next door.
Precisely. It means you're pursuing the wrong path or asking someone who just doesn't have the answer or the ability to help.
Kayla's example was perfect. Someone asking her, an American English teacher, about British slang.
Right. She'd have to say, sorry, you're barking up the wrong tree there, not my area of expertise.
It's a really clear way to say wrong direction or wrong person.
Definitely memorable.
Okay, now shifting gears. How about when you're just not feeling well? Not terribly thick, but just off.
You'd probably say you're feeling under the weather.
Yeah, that's a really common one. Kayla pointed out it's usually for minor stuff, right? Like a cold, maybe feeling a bit run down.
Exactly. Not for serious illnesses. It's kind of a gentle, vague way to say you're not feeling 100%. Good for calling in sick without oversharing, perhaps.
Polite, yeah. Okay, what about things? Things that are super common, easy to find everywhere.
Those are a dime a dozen.
Like Kayla's example of common baseball cards in a pack. Nothing special, because there are tons of them.
Right. The idea comes from a time when a dime, just 10 cents, could supposedly buy 12 of something. So very cheap because they were so plentiful.
It implies low value because of the abundance. She did say she doesn't use it that much herself, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, but you hear it quite a bit in movies or TV shows. Still widely understood, even if not everyone uses it daily.
Okay, next. This one's asked when someone's suddenly quiet. Cat got your tongue.
Right. It's usually a playful, maybe slightly teasing question, like, why aren't you talking? Are you shy? Speechless.
And this is where Kayla's video actually cut off. Quite the cliffhanger.
Yeah, a bit abrupt. But the meaning is clear, questioning someone's silence. Where did that phrase even come from? Theories abound, but nothing certain.
Strange one. Okay, let's talk about being brave. Facing something difficult head on.
That would be take the bull by the horns.
Such a strong image. Like grabbing a charging bowl.
Exactly. It means confronting a challenge directly with courage and determination, not avoiding it.
Kayla mentioned someone afraid of public speaking who decides to, take the bull by the horns and sign up for a class.
Perfect example. It embodies that proactive, problem-solving attitude.
Okay, this next one is super common. Kayla said she uses it constantly. You're talking about someone and suddenly.
They appear. And you say, speak of the devil.
Right. Speak of the devil and they will appear. Is the full phrase, apparently.
Yeah, though usually we just say the first part. Kayla mentioned it can feel a tiny bit rude, maybe because of the devil part.
Maybe, but it's so common, it's usually just acknowledging the funny coincidence, right?
Totally. Used in a lighthearted way most of the time.
Okay. What about people who need proof? They won't believe something until they witness it themselves.
For them, seeing is believing.
Makes sense. Kayla's friend doubting the NYC subway.
Until she actually wrote it and saw how it worked, then she believed. It highlights that value we place on firsthand experience.
Empirical evidence, right? Okay, opposite of taking the bull by the horns. What about giving up?
Instead of just giving up, you might say someone decided to throw in the towel.
Ah, the boxing connection.
Exactly. Comes from when a boxer's trainer throws a towel into the ring to signal surrender. It means quitting, conceding defeat.
Kayla shared that story about wanting to quit basketball as a kid.
And her mom wouldn't let her throw in the towel. It often implies giving up too soon.
So it encourages sticking with things. Got it. Now, what about someone being really firm? Unmovable on a decision.
They put their foot down.
Like planting your foot firmly on the ground, no budging.
Precisely. It means being very strict and refusing to change your mind or allow something, often used by parents or people in authority.
Kayla's example of being strict about TV time with her kids, that's definitely putting her foot down.
Yes, it conveys that sense of finality.
Okay, you know when something gets super popular, like a sports team winning, and suddenly everyone's a fan?
They're jumping on the bandwagon.
Right. Kayla talked about the Kansas City Chiefs fans appearing after the Super Bowl wins. Bandwagon fans.
It implies joining something just because it's popular or successful, maybe not out of long-term loyalty. The image is literally jumping onto a moving parade wagon.
And it's not just for sports, right? Any trend.
Any trend, yeah.
Yeah.
New technology, fashion, anything popular people suddenly flock to.
Okay. Now imagine someone's giving a speech, maybe there's a loud noise, but they just keep going smoothly.
You'd say they didn't miss a beat.
Like keeping perfect rhythm. It's usually a compliment, right?
Definitely. It means they continued without interruption or distraction, showing focus and composure. Kayla's example of the presenter ignoring a disruption was perfect.
Seamless.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one Kayla said was a personal favorite. Flip the script.
Yeah, I like that one too. It means completely changing the expected narrative or approach. A total reversal.
Her example was a student who was doing poorly and then suddenly started acing the class.
Totally flip the script, change the whole story. It implies a dramatic, unexpected shift.
Very cool. Now, what happens when a discussion gets too detailed? Too many technical specifics?
That's when you're getting into the weeds.
Like getting lost in the tall grass, losing sight of the main path.
Exactly. It means focusing on tiny, often unnecessary details that obscure the bigger picture. Kayla mentioned engineers talking technical jargon.
Yeah, and suggesting, hey, let's not get into the weeds here.
Yeah.
Keep it high level.
Right. Avoid the overwhelming complexity.
Okay, shifting to relationships. When someone takes action, maybe asks someone out.
I make a move.
Often romantic, yeah. But Kayla said it can be broader, too.
Yeah, it can mean taking any kind of decisive action you've been considering. Making the first step towards a goal. Not just dating. It implies initiative.
Taking the plunge. Okay. How about a slightly more formal way to say, remember this?
You might say, bear in mind. Kayla mentioned her husband uses it.
Like, carry this thought with you.
Pretty much, keep this piece of information in your thoughts as context. Her example of telling a snow story and saying, bear in mind it was freezing.
Right, adds important context. Okay, talk about the future, but not a specific time.
You could say, down the road.
Like, we'll deal with that down the road, sometime later.
Exactly. It indicates a future point in time, often unspecified, further along the path of time.
Nice and simple. Now, for something truly impactful, something that changes everything.
That's a game changer.
Like Kayla's example of the iPhone. It completely altered how we do things.
Totally. A game changer is an innovation or event that fundamentally shifts the situation, the rules, the whole landscape. For better or worse, usually better.
Big impact. Okay, what about when you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed and need to calm down.
You might tell yourself to get it together.
Like pull yourself together, focus. Kayla said she uses it on herself.
Yeah, it's a call to regain composure and control. But she gave a good warning, right? Be careful saying it to others.
Yeah, could sound harsh if someone's really struggling.
Yeah.
Context matters.
Always.
How about when something happens really fast, almost surprisingly quick?
That's before you know it.
Like time flies and boom, it's done. Kayla talked about her career shifts happening before you knew it.
Right. It emphasizes the speed and maybe even the lack of conscious tracking of how quickly things changed.
Okay, imagine a deal seems too perfect.
Yeah.
Alarm bells are ringing,
You'd ask, what's the catch? Or state, there has to be a catch.
meaning there's probably a hidden problem, right? A downside.
Exactly. Like Kayla's example of cheap car deals often having the catch of really high interest rates later, it implies suspicion.
Healthy skepticism. Now, for people or things that are super similar and get along great,
They're like two peas in a pod.
cute image, just nestled together perfectly.
Yeah, it emphasizes strong similarity and compatibility, usually used for people, close friends, couples who are really in sync.
Got it. What if you see something totally unbelievable? You're stunned.
You might say, I can't believe my eyes.
Like those home makeover shows Kayla mentioned.
Yeah.
The big reveal.
Exactly. It expresses pure astonishment or disbelief at something visually striking or unexpected.
Okay, tough situations now.
Oh.
What if you have only bad choices? No good options.
You're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Ian's uncomfortable.
It is. Or you might say you have to choose between two evils. Both phrases mean you're in a dilemma with only unpleasant alternatives.
No easy way out. Okay, let's talk about newcomers. Someone new to a country or situation.
They might be called fresh off the boat or FOB.
Kayla noted this is often figurative now, right? Since people mostly fly.
Right. It just means new and unfamiliar with the environment or culture. But it's important to be careful with this one.
How so?
Well, while it can be used humorously or just descriptively, it can sometimes sound dismissive or even offensive depending on who's saying it and how. Context is key.
Good point. Okay, what if something is just not worth doing at all? Totally pointless.
Then you'd say, don't even bother.
Like save your energy. Kayla's example. Don't bother trying to learn every single English word.
Exactly. It's a strong dismissal, suggesting the effort is completely wasted.
Okay, how about finishing something fast? Getting it done efficiently.
You can say you knocked it out.
Like boom, done. Kayla said she tries to knock out simple tasks in the morning.
Yeah, implies speed and efficiency. Task completed.
And if you hear about something informally, from friends or colleagues,
That's word of mouth.
not from ads or official sources, just people talking. Like how you find a good local restaurant sometimes.
Exactly. It relies on personal recommendations and social networks, often seen as more trustworthy.
Right. Okay, time to start something. That moment of initiation.
Could be go time.
Kayla said you hear this a lot in movies,
Right.
right before the action starts.
Yeah. It's energetic. Means let's begin now.
Cool. What about extra credit? Or maybe an added challenge?
That's bonus points. Like in a game show or just figuratively.
You get bonus points for creativity? Stuff like that.
Exactly. An extra reward or acknowledgement.
Okay, picture someone terrified, gripping something really tight.
Their knuckles might be white, so white knuckles or white knuckling it.
Kayla mentioned someone on a roller coaster, right? Gripping the bar for dear life.
Perfect image. It conveys intense fear or nervousness through that physical reaction.
Yikes. Okay, what about doing something difficult that hurts your pride? Like asking for help.
You have to swallow your pride.
Ugh, yeah. Force yourself to do it, even if it feels embarrassing. Kayla mentioned asking for help cleaning or clarification in language learning.
Right. It's about overcoming ego for a necessary outcome.
Okay, if a situation starts getting chaotic, totally out of control.
It's going off the rails.
Like a train wreck.
Exactly that image. Losing control, heading for disaster, breakdown of order.
Not good. Let's switch to something polite. Giving permission formally.
You could say, by all means.
Sounds quite proper, means yes, absolutely, go ahead.
Yes, very polite and affirmative.
What about packing for a trip if you only take essentials?
You travel light.
The opposite of bringing everything but the kitchen sink, as Kayla put it.
Right. Efficiency. Minimalism in packing.
Now, if you admire someone so much, maybe too much.
You might say you worship the ground that they walk on.
Wow, intense. Kayla made sure to say it's not literal worship.
No, it's hyperbole for extreme admiration. Sometimes used sarcastically if the admiration seems excessive.
Like being a huge fan of Lady Gaga, maybe.
Could be. Or maybe mocking someone's obsession.
Okay, the best of the best in a field. The absolute top tier.
That's the Hall of Fame.
Like the Baseball Hall of Fame, but used more broadly.
Exactly. It signifies the pinnacle of achievement or excellence in any area, not just sports.
Similar idea, maybe. World class.
Right, meaning among the best internationally. Kayla mentioned Chicago as a world-class city. High standard.
Got it. What about sudden good fortune? Like amazing luck.
You hit the jackpot!
Like winning the lottery. Kayla's example was marrying a wonderful person.
Yeah, implies a huge, sudden stroke of amazing luck or success.
Okay, risk-taking now. If you risk absolutely everything,
You bet the house.
putting everything you own on the line, high stakes.
Very high stakes. It indicates immense confidence or maybe recklessness.
And if you're very sure something will happen, you're confident.
You can say bank on it.
Like, it's as reliable as money in the bank. Kayla said she uses this a lot.
Yeah, expresses strong certainty, like banking on good weather.
What about likelihood? If something seems destined or probable,
It's in the cards.
like fate dealing you that hand, and the opposite.
Not in the cards. Means unlikely. Kayla's example, feeling tired so going out is not in the cards.
Makes sense. Okay, describing objects now, something really strong and durable,
That's heavy duty.
like work boots or a tough jacket.
Yeah.
Kayla said it's more common than just saying durable.
Yeah, really emphasizes the toughness, ability to withstand hard use.
What if something is just, okay, acceptable, but not great?
It's good enough.
Meets the basic need, but isn't outstanding. Kayla's teacher example answers good enough, but needs more explanation.
Right. Satisfactory, but not necessarily excellent. Adequate.
Okay, changing your mind after deciding. Having dice.
There's a second thought.
It's like, maybe that wasn't the best idea. Kayla hoped people don't have them about marriage.
Yes. It implies reconsideration, maybe potential regret.
What if something is purely for enjoyment? No serious purpose.
It's just for fun.
Like playing poker without betting money, as Kayla said.
Exactly. Clarifies the motivation is simply enjoyment.
And the absolute best quality. Super excellent.
That's top notch.
We had Hall of Fame, world class, now top-notch, all high praise, like a top-notch restaurant.
Yep, signifies the highest quality.
How about something relaxed, casual, not flashy,
That's low key.
like a low-key party or even a person who's quite reserved?
Right. Understated, not drawing attention, casual.
And the opposite, maybe. Something weird, unusual,
Could be off the wall.
like not conventional at all. Eccentric. Kayla said it could even mean a bad or nonsensical idea.
Yeah, it implies unusual, maybe even bizarre, can be creative or just plain strange.
What about just ordinary, average, nothing special?
That's run of the mill.
Like a standard, predictable romantic comedy movie, Kayla's example.
Exactly. Commonplace, average, nothing remarkable.
Okay, expensive and luxurious.
High end.
Like a high-end car or apartment. Premium quality, premium price.
Yep. Associated with luxury and exclusivity.
What if something is just too much, too dramatic, exaggerated?
It's over the top.
Like Kayla's example of a wildly dramatic reaction to a proposal. Excessive.
Beyond what's considered normal or appropriate. Extravagant.
Now, a negative one for people. Someone lazy, irresponsible, avoids paying debts.
That's a deadbeat. It's a very insulting term.
Yeah, Kayla emphasized that, like a deadbeat dad who doesn't support his kids. Strong negative meaning.
Carries a real social stigma. Definitely not a word to use lightly.
Okay, slang time. Something exceptionally good, better than usual.
Next level.
Like, wow, this cookie's next level, or someone's skills are next level.
Exactly. Modern slang for superior. Outstanding.
And someone calm, relaxed, easygoing.
They're laid back.
Like a laid-back boss or a laid-back vacation.
Yeah.
Not easily stressed.
Relaxed, unhurried vibe.
How about something super reliable, strong, dependable?
Rock solid.
Like a rock-solid friendship or rock-solid plan. Unshakable.
Conveys strength, stability, reliability. Dependable.
Okay, very excited, enthusiastic slang.
Hyped.
I'm so hyped for the concert. Kaylee used Taylor Swift as the example.
Yeah, just means really excited and full of anticipation.
What about someone who can't make up their mind? Indecisive.
They're wishy-washy.
Sounds kind of weak, doesn't it? Kayla mentioned a wishy-washy boss or even weather.
Yeah, it implies a lack of firm conviction or decision, generally negative.
Okay, something tacky, maybe overly sentimental, insincere.
That's cheesy.
Like a cheesy pickup line, or maybe a cheesy movie you secretly enjoy.
Right. lacking sophistication or genuine sentiment, often in a predictable way.
How about stylish, but maybe a bit old-fashioned word for it?
Spiffy
Yeah. Kayla said it's a bit dated, but you still hear it. Spiffy new shoes.
means looking sharp, neat, stylish, got a bit of a retro feel.
What about just plain crazy or wild?
Slang would be bonkers.
Kayla thought maybe British people use this more. But Americans do too, like a crowd going bonkers.
Yeah, means insane, wildly excited, out of control.
Okay, another slang term.
Yeah.
Authentic, good, legitimate.
Legit.
This pizza place is legit. Kayla thought maybe older generations use it more now.
Possibly, but it's still around. Means genuine, good quality, approved.
What about something bold, unconventional, maybe provocative?
That could be described as edgy,
Like edgy fashion or edgy art, pushing boundaries.
often intentionally challenging norms.
Another slightly dated one for stylish or fancy.
Snazzy.
Right, like spiffy. Kayla thought older people might use it. Snazzy car, snazzy outfit.
Yeah, implies stylish, maybe a bit flashy or eye-catching.
Okay, someone unreliable, always canceling plans.
Flaky.
Hate flaky friends. Kayla's example, someone you can't count on.
Exactly. Prone to backing out of commitments. Negative trait.
And something low quality, tasteless, maybe vulgar,
That's trashy.
like a trashy novel or a trashy reality TV show, as Kayla mentioned.
Yeah, implies poor quality, lack of taste, maybe crude.
If something is really annoying you, maybe you crave.
That's driving me nuts.
It's like that fly buzzing around your head Kayla talked about.
Yeah.
Very irritating.
Common way to express strong annoyance.
Okay, slang for bold, courageous, but potentially inappropriate.
Ballsy. Kayla definitely warned about this one.
Yeah, use with extreme caution. Means audacious, brave, but can be offensive. Her example, coworker criticizing the boss's plan.
It implies taking a big risk, often defying authority. But yeah, context is everything, and it's often inappropriate.
What about risky, uncertain, unpredictable slang?
Dicey.
Like rolling the dice, chancy. Kayla mentioned a dicey flight connection.
Right. Implies risk, uncertainty, potential for problems.
Okay, internet slang now. Something arriving unexpectedly.
Blank has entered the chat.
Huh, like, my motivation has finally entered the chat.
Exactly. Personifying something abstract or long-awaited as joining a conversation. Playful, contemporary.
And newer slang for doing really well or maybe an outfit looking great.
Popped off.
Kayla said it has newer meanings now, like her outfit really popped off. But also older uses, like a team scoring load.
Yeah, it's evolving. Generally means sudden, impressive success or excellence.
Okay, a more standard phrase, generally, for the most part.
By and large.
By and large, people prefer weekends. Simple enough.
Yes, means typically, overall. Good for generalizations.
What about a strict deadline? No flexibility.
That's a hard stop.
Like in a meeting, we have a hard stop at noon. Or Kayla's online example, Coke is better than Pepsi, hard stop. Ending the debate.
Right. A firm, non-negotiable limit, time-wise or discussion-wise.
What if something fails completely? Doesn't work out at all?
It's a flop. Slang for failure.
Like a movie that bombs at the box office or Kayla's bad dinner example?
Yeah, total failure to meet expectations.
Okay, the time someone can focus.
Their attention span.
Kayla mentioned kids having short ones and worries about social media shortening ours.
Right, the duration of focused concentration.
What if someone says something that makes you remember something related?
You'd say, now that you mention it.
Like, now that you mentioned lunch, I realize I'm starving.
Exactly. It signals a triggered memory or thought.
How about summarizing a point or drawing a conclusion from an example?
You might say, this goes to show.
Kayla's example, the farmer turned astronaut. This goes to show what hard work can achieve.
Right. Used to highlight a lesson or prove a point.
What about accepting minor failures? You can't succeed every time.
Can't win them all.
Like the copier jamming or losing a game. It's okay, move on.
Exactly. A phrase of acceptance for small setbacks.
When you regret a past action, that seems dumb now.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Like hiking in the desert without water. What was I thinking?
Expresses bewilderment at your own past poor judgment.
A phrase for absolute commitment, regardless of obstacles.
No matter what.
I'll finish this project, no matter what. Strong determination.
Unwavering commitment.
How do you compliment someone's expertise? Informal way.
You really know what you're talking about.
Simple and direct. Acknowledges their knowledge, like Kayla's eye doctor example.
Builds confidence, shows respect for their expertise.
What if someone makes a point you just can't argue with?
You can say, you've got me there.
Like admitting defeat in a friendly debate. Kayla's TV show example.
Yeah, a concession. Okay, you win that point.
Complimenting someone's choices in style or food.
They have good taste.
Simple compliment on their preferences, like nice shoes or recommending good music.
Shows appreciation for their judgment.
Something happening extremely fast,
In the blink of an eye.
faster than a blink, like a sudden accident or a quick promotion.
Emphasizes incredible speed and suddenness.
What about sharing shocking or significant news?
You might drop a bomb on someone, or more specifically, drop a truth bomb.
Wow. Impactful image, Kayla's examples. Forgetting a passport or revealing hard truths like about climate change.
Yeah, truth bomb is specifically about a difficult but necessary truth. Both imply major impact.
How about describing a general plan, not specific yet?
Something along the lines of,
For dinner, thinking something along the lines of pasta, vague
but
idea.
the general concept, details TBD.
An adjective for someone too aggressive in selling or persuading.
They're being pushy.
Comes from pushing their ideas on you, like a pushy salesperson.
Yeah, overly insistent, ignoring boundaries, negative.
What about gradually starting to like or dislike something over time?
You grow to like it or grow to dislike it.
Like Kayla initially thinking Bad Bunny was just okay, then growing to like his music.
Exactly. A gradual change in feeling through exposure.
How about tempting someone with a promise to motivate them?
You dangle something in front of them.
Like dangling a reward candy for cleaning a room, like Kayla said. Often metaphorical.
Using a tempting offer to encourage action.
Looking back on something with current knowledge.
In retrospect.
In retrospect, I should have studied more. Reflecting with hindsight.
Exactly. Evaluating the past with present understanding.
Informal phrase for earning lots of money.
Bring in the big bucks.
Like Ed Sheeran, after he became famous, not when he was street performing.
Colloquial way to talk about high earnings.
When something receives a lot of public attention.
It comes into the spotlight or is brought into the spotlight.
Like Kayla's example of the submarine accident bringing attention to ocean dangers.
Uses the stage metaphor for public focus.
What's the word for boldness that's almost offensive? Often used sarcastically.
Audacity, as in, can you believe the audacity?
Right. Kayla's example. The always late boss criticizing someone's lunch break. Shocking nerve.
Exactly. Boldness, crossing into rudeness or presumption, often met with indignation.
How do you describe someone looking really sad and helpless?
They look like a sad puppy.
Very visual. Like the losing team after a championship. Kayla's example.
Conveys dejection and helplessness effectively.
To mention or introduce a topic?
Bring up.
Don't bring up politics at dinner. Or let me bring up the schedule.
Common phrasal verb for introducing a subject.
To finalize an agreement. Make it certain.
Seal the deal.
Like signing the contract or making that final decision. Confirms it.
Uses the image of a final confirming action.
How about behaving rudely or negatively?
Giving attitude.
Why are you giving me attitude? Means being disrespectful, uncooperative.
Yeah, refers to that negative demeanor.
How do you introduce an important point, maybe a problem?
Here's the thing.
I want to go, but here's the thing. I have no money. Introduces the complication.
Signals that crucial information is coming.
Asking someone to consider a tough situation. Emphasizing hardship.
Imagine having to.
Imagine having to walk 5 miles for water. Prompts empathy. Often rhetorical.
Right, asks the listener to step into difficult shoes.
Refusing to accept reality. Ignoring consequences.
That's living in denial. Kayla added, ignorance is bliss, as related.
Like spending wildly on credit cards and not thinking about the debt. Avoiding unpleasant truths.
Exactly, a state of willful ignorance.
What if both choices are good? No bad option.
You can't go wrong with either option, or just, you can't go wrong.
Like choosing ice cream flavors. Kayla's example. Both will be pasty.
Reassurance that any choice is a good one.
Informal way to say, we're leaving now.
We're off.
Okay, finish my coffee, we're off. Casual departure announcement.
Common and simple.
Being forced to decide quickly under pressure.
That's like having a gun to your head, metaphorically.
Intense. Like those would you rather questions where you have to pick.
Emphasizes extreme pressure and the lack of time to think.
Describing the scope or limit of something.
To the extent of. Like, what was the extent of the damage?
Defines the magnitude or boundary.
Defending someone who's being treated unfairly.
You stand up for someone. Kayla related it to having core values.
Yeah.
If you stand for everything, you stand for nothing.
Right. Taking action to defend someone aligns with having principles you're willing to fight for.
Bragging, making big claims without proof.
That's talking a big game. Like Conor McGregor, Kayla's example.
And the challenge is to
Back it up! Prove your words with actions.
got it. A very difficult task requiring lots of effort.
An uphill battle.
Like climbing a steep hill. Kayla mentioned keeping a house clean with kids or learning English. Constant effort needed.
Metaphor for a challenging, effortful task with obstacles.
How do you tell someone not to take your opinion as fact? View it skeptically.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Especially if you're not an expert, like Kayla said. Don't treat it as gospel.
Advises caution and skepticism towards the information.
Doing what you advise others to do. Actions matching words.
Practice what you preach. Or lead by example.
Important for leaders, Kayla's example. The late boss telling others to be punctual. Hypocrisy.
Emphasizes consistency between words and deeds.
Wanting two conflicting things at once.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Classic. Wanting the promotion and tons of vacation time, maybe not possible. You have to choose.
Highlights the need to make choices between mutually exclusive desires.
Spoiling someone's excitement or happiness.
You rain on their parade.
Oh, mean. Like telling someone bad news when they're really happy about something, like Kayla's concert weather example.
Dampens their enthusiasm, spoils the mood.
Acting impulsively, emotionally, without thinking.
Doing something in the heat of the moment.
Like saying something angry you regret later. Kayla's argument example.
Acting under strong emotion, overriding rational thought.
Being in a very risky situation. Dangerously close to trouble.
You're on thin ice.
Like you could fall through any second. Kayla's example. Being close to getting fired at work.
Metaphor for a precarious, dangerous situation. Vulnerable.
Telling someone to be careful. Go slowly.
Easy does it.
Gentle caution. Like moving heavy furniture. Kayla's example. Slow and steady.
Encourages careful, gentle action.
Letting someone proceed as they wish. Not interfering.
Do your thing.
Informal and permissive. Like Kayla's cooking example. Go ahead, do your thing, I'll just watch.
Allows someone freedom to act as they please.
Competing directly against someone.
You go head to head.
Like two players in a game, facing off. Direct confrontation or competition.
Signifies direct opposition.
Accepting that people have different preferences.
To each their own.
Live and let live. Kayla's example. Someone loving expensive handbags. Okay, to each their own.
Tolerant acceptance of differing tastes.
Getting involved quickly to help or participate.
You jump in.
Like jumping in to help lift something heavy or jumping into a conversation.
Implies quick, active involvement.
Becoming very strict about rules, often after being relaxed.
You lay down the law.
Sounds serious. Kayla's boss example. Suddenly enforcing punctuality strictly.
Authoritative enforcement of rules, establishing firm boundaries.
Succeeding at something difficult or unexpected.
You pull it off.
Like passing a test without studying, or Kayla's Ferris-Bueller example. Managed to succeed against odds.
Successfully accomplishing something challenging.
Acknowledging a shared understanding of difficulty. No need to explain.
I don't have to tell you. Or you don't have to tell me.
Like talking about bad traffic or raising kids. We both get it.
Implies mutual understanding based on shared experience.
Encouraging someone not to quit.
Don't give up.
Simple, direct encouragement. Especially for learners, like Kayla said about English.
Keep trying. Persevere.
Admitting you don't know an answer, often lightly,
I give up.
like on a hard trivia question.
Yeah.
Okay, I give up. What is it?
Signals cessation of effort to guess or solve.
Researching or investigating something.
You need to look into this.
Like researching cars or checking out a potential problem. Gather more info.
Instruction to examine or investigate.
Keeping someone informed about progress.
Keep someone in the loop.
Important teamwork. Kayla's project example, keep colleagues updated.
Ensures relevant parties stay informed.
Trying something, attempting it.
Give it a shot. Or give that a shot.
Like trying a new recipe. Kayla's example, let's attempt it.
Encouragement to try something new or uncertain.
Stopping something completely, abruptly. Off at a project.
You pull the plug.
Like canceling an event due to weather. Kayla's example. Sudden termination.
Signifies complete and often sudden cessation.
Adapting to difficulties. Keep going despite setbacks.
You roll with the punches.
Like a boxer, absorbing hits.
Yeah.
Keep adapting. Keep moving forward. Kayla's language learning example.
Emphasizes resilience and adaptability.
Finishing or concluding something.
You wrap up.
Let's wrap up this meeting. Wrap up. Work for the day.
Signals nearing completion or the end.
Exaggerating something to make it seem better.
You play up something.
Like influencers playing up their wealth. Kayla's example. emphasizing the good parts.
Highlighting positives, potentially exaggerating.
Slang for increasing energy, having fun, partying.
Turn up.
Are we going to turn up tonight? Get energetic, have fun, or literally turn up volume.
Slang for increasing intensity or excitement.
Making a guess or attempt, maybe without much skill.
You take a stab at something.
Like taking a stab at fixing the leaky faucet, even if you're not a plumber.
Making an attempt, often speculative.
Proceeding with a plan or idea, trying to execute it.
Let's run with it.
Like, okay, that's the plan, let's run with it. Move forward with the idea.
Encourages action on a plan.
Considering the future, planning ahead.
You need to think ahead.
Like planning for retirement or a party. Anticipating future needs.
Involves foresight and planning.
Approximately, more or less.
Give or take.
It costs $50, give or take. Allows for slight variation.
Indicates an approximation.
Reducing the amount of something.
You've cut back on something.
Like cutting back on sugar or spending. Reduce consumption or frequency.
Means lessening the quantity.
Admitting you made a mistake. Acknowledging fault.
You were in the wrong. Or you need to admit that you are in the wrong. Taking responsibility for an error.
That phrase for absolute commitment again.
No matter what, we stand by it.
Realizing something suddenly.
It dawned on me.
It dawned on me I forgot her birthday.
Yeah.
Sudden realization.
Describes that moment of sudden understanding.
Slang for annoyed or irritated.
Irked.
I was really irked when he cut me off in traffic. Mild annoyance.
Informal term for irritation.
Telling someone to calm down, slow down, informally.
Slow your roll.
Like, whoa there, slow your roll. We have plenty of time. Don't rush.
Casual advice. To relax and not be hasty.
Something important being overlooked or forgotten.
It slipped through the cracks.
Like a task missed in a busy project. Overlooked due to chaos.
Describe something being missed unintentionally.
Initial impression. Quick look.
At first glance.
At first glance, the problem seems simple. Preliminary assessment.
Based on an initial brief look.
Without preparation. Spontaneously.
Off the cuff.
Like giving off the cuff remarks. Unrehearsed.
Speaking or acting impromptu.
Fitting something into a busy schedule.
You work somebody in or work something into your schedule.
Like the doctor working in an urgent appointment. Finding time.
Making space in a tight schedule.
Something that seems easy, but is actually difficult.
It's harder than it sounds or more difficult than it sounds.
Like Kayla said, studying English daily is harder than it sounds.
Highlights the hidden difficulty behind apparent simplicity.
Having the courage to do something. Informal.
Do you have the guts?
Like having the guts to skydive or ask for a raise. Bravery. Nerve.
Colloquial term for courage.
Performing at peak capacity.
Yeah.
Functioning really well.
Firing on all cylinders.
Like an engine running perfectly. A team or person performing excellently.
Metaphor for optimal performance.
Highest quality again. Excellent.
Top notch. Gotta love that one.
Acceptable. Okay, nothing wrong.
Perfectly fine.
Like, is this seat okay? Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Acceptable.
Indicates satisfactory condition, no issues.
Telling someone to calm down, be less eager. Informal.
Cool your jets.
Similar to slow your roll. Like, okay, cool your jets, we'll leave soon.
Casual way to tell someone to relax their enthusiasm or impatience.
Directing effort towards something specific.
You channel their energy into that thing.
Like getting kids to channel their energy into homework, not bouncing off walls.
Focusing effort and enthusiasm purposefully.
Two things completely different, incomparable.
That's apples and oranges.
Can't compare them meaningfully, fundamentally different.
Highlights inherent dissimilarity.
Causing awkwardness and embarrassment.
It's cringeworthy.
Like a really bad joke or an awkward public moment.
Makes you cringe. Evokes feelings of secondhand embarrassment.
Perfectly suited to someone's interests or skills.
It's right up their alley.
Like recommending a sci-fi book to a sci-fi fanatic. This will be right up your alley.
Perfectly matches their tastes or abilities.
You can be absolutely sure of this. It's true.
You best believe it.
Strong affirmation. Like reassuring someone, you best believe you're improving.
Forceful expression of certainty.
Confused, unable to answer.
You're stumped.
Like a hard question leaves you completely stumped. Can't figure it out. Kayla gets stumped by grammar sometimes.
Unable to find an answer or solution. Baffled.
Emotionally agitated. We're building up courage.
Can be worked up, either agitated, don't get worked up, or building courage. I worked up the courage to ask. Or even appetite sweat, versatile phrase, can mean agitated, excited, or having mustered determination or a physical state.
Releasing stress or anger.
You blow off steam.
Like exercising or relaxing after a stressful week. Venting pent-up energy.
releasing tension in a healthy way, usually.
Responding angrily or rudely, suddenly.
You snap at someone.
Like when you're stressed and accidentally snap at someone asking a simple question.
Sudden, irritable, verbal reaction.
Oh, wow, that was a lot. But hopefully that gives you a much better feel for these common American idioms.
Yeah, understanding them really can make listening to native speakers easier, and using them can make your own English sound more natural, more colorful.
Definitely. Maybe try using 1 or 2 this week. See how it feels.
Good idea. And think about it. Were any of those genuinely surprising to you? Or maybe you have similar phrases in your own language. It's fascinating how languages express these ideas.
It really is. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into American idioms.
Thanks for listening.
You know that feeling? When you're trying to learn American English and you feel like you've got the grammar mostly down, you can order coffee, ask for directions, but then you hear native speakers just chatting.
Right, and it's like, wait, what did they just say?
Exactly. It's like they're using some kind of secret code. All these little phrases, these idioms, you definitely don't find those in textbooks. We've all been there, I think.
That's so true. It's like knowing the individual notes but not quite getting the melody. These everyday phrases, they're really the rhythm, the flow of natural conversation.
Perfectly put. Well, today on the deep dive, we are attempting to crack that code.
Okay.
We found this great YouTube videos from English with Kayla, called 25 Must-Know Phrases for Living in the United States.
Kayla's channel is good.
Yeah. So we're going to, pull out the really juicy bits for you.
And our aim isn't just to give definitions. We want to give you a real feel for how these phrases are used. The situations you'd hear them in, maybe even a little peek into how Americans think and interact sometimes.
Kind of the inside scoop.
Exactly, without just giving you a massive, overwhelming vocabulary list.
So our mission for you, the learner, is to equip you with a, let's say, deeper understanding of these common expressions. So you can not only recognize them, but maybe even feel comfortable starting to use a few yourself. And Kayla covers a great range from those kind of uh-oh moments to just everyday reassurances.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Okay, let's dive in. First up, scam, scammer, and also rip-off. These feel important.
Oh, definitely crucial, especially for just navigating everyday life, transactions, interactions online. So Kayla explains a scam is basically a deceptive scheme, right? Often aimed at getting your money or, your personal info.
It's like those fake emails saying you won the lottery.
Exactly, or those pop-ups screaming about a virus on your computer.
Yeah.
Call this number immediately, that kind of thing.
Okay, so that's the scam and the scammer.
That's simply the person behind the scam. The one trying to pull the wool over your eyes.
Got it. No, rip-off. That sounds a bit more informal, maybe.
It is, yeah. It's definitely less formal, but the idea is pretty similar. You feel like you've been cheated or seriously overcharged.
So, you pay a lot for concert tickets,
Yeah.
and the band is terrible.
Precisely. Or the sound system doesn't even work. You'd say, oh, those tickets were a total ripoff.
Okay.
And Kayla rightly flags those unsolicited calls asking for money. That's such a classic scammer move. It sort of preys on people's trust or sometimes their fear.
Yeah, definitely something you need to be aware of. Okay, let's shift gears. Something a bit more comforting.
Sounds good.
There's no need to worry and there's no need to rush. These seem super useful.
Oh, absolutely. These are fantastic for offering reassurance, kind of easing tension in a situation.
How so?
Well, Kayla gives some good examples, like telling a coworker, hey, there's no need to worry. I already finished that presentation.
Oh, okay. Takes the pressure off.
Exactly. Or if you're picking someone up and they're running late, you might text, take your time. There's no need to rush. I'm not going anywhere.
What I like about this is the structure. It's simple, right? There's no need to, plus a verb.
Very useful.
Seems really versatile for just lowering the stress level.
It is. And grammatically, just quickly, need here is actually a noun, followed by the infinitive verb.
Right.
But yeah, functionally, it's just a very concise way to say an action isn't necessary. Maybe it reflects a bit of that American directness.
Could be. Okay, next one. This phrase, I feel like I hear it a lot. It feels very accepting, maybe. It is what it is.
Oh, yeah. That one's very common. Kayla describes it as basically acknowledging a situation you just can't change.
For example, was the picnic, right? It starts raining.
Exactly. You had this whole plan, maybe sandwiches packed and everything, and then boom, rain. Instead of getting all upset, you just shrug.
Well, it is what it is.
Right. And what's interesting, like Kayla points out, is that often it's sort of followed by looking for the positive side.
Silver lining.
Yeah. It's raining, so we can't have the picnic. It is what it is. But hey, at least we can order pizza and watch a movie. It suggests a sort of pragmatic approach.
Do you think there's a danger, though? Like, if you say it too much, could it sound passive? Or like you don't care?
That's a really good point. Yeah, I suppose in some situations it might come across like you're not even going to try to fix things.
Right.
But generally, I think its main use is about accepting the unavoidable and just moving on.
Okay. Let's move to feelings. How we describe feeling stressed. Kayla introduces frazzled. I just love the sound of that word.
It's a great word, very evocative. Kayla really nails the definition. It's that mix of being stressed out, overwhelmed, and just plain tired.
Yeah.
She mentions a visual of frizzy hair, which is perfect, that feeling of being mentally and emotionally frayed around the edges.
And the examples she uses, kids screaming all around you or having meeting after meeting after meeting.
Oh yeah, back-to-back meetings. Classic frazzle inducer.
You can instantly picture that feeling, being pulled in 10 directions at once. It's definitely negative, though.
Oh, absolutely. You wouldn't say, I just had a relaxing massage, I feel so frazzled.
Uh-huh.
No, it implies you're overwhelmed, maybe a bit disorganized because of the stress. But it's a quick way to communicate that complex feeling.
Okay, next one gets a bit more personal. To spill one's guts. Kayla quickly says, don't worry, it's not literal.
Uh-huh. Yes, a very important clarification. No actual guts involved. It just means you reveal your really deep personal feelings. Secrets, even.
Like in therapy, maybe.
That's a perfect example Kayla uses. That moment you finally feel safe enough to just let it all out, share everything. It kind of speaks to that American value sometimes of directness and emotional honesty. In the right context, anyway.
It's about total emotional vulnerability, right? Just laying everything out there. Kayla's suggestion, like, tell me how you really feel, spill your guts, it really pushes for that unfiltered truth. It's funny how a slightly graphic image conveys something so emotional.
It is, isn't it? A very vivid way to describe just pouring out your inner thoughts. Okay, let's switch to something more about social situations. A faux pas, perhaps. To show up uninvited.
This one seems pretty straightforward, thankfully.
Yeah, quite literal.
Kayla explains it's just arriving somewhere like a dinner party, maybe even a work meeting when you weren't actually asked to come.
Right, and it creates that slightly awkward moment. Like, oh, hi. Didn't expect to see you here.
Definitely touches on social etiquette, the importance of invitations, meaning you are actually welcome.
Yeah, it implies you're being a bit presumptuous, maybe even rude. It highlights respecting those social boundaries.
Okay. Next up, something I think many of us have felt, especially after maybe not enough sleep, brain fog.
Oh, I know brain fog well. It's such a common and relatable idiom.
Totally.
Kayla defines it as that fuzzy, unclear state of mind, where it's hard to focus or think straight, often linked to lack of sleep, like you said, or maybe stress.
It's like your mental windshield is a bit dirty or fogged up.
That's a great way to put it. And it's interesting, it's not really a medical term, but everyone seems to understand what you mean when you say you have brain fog.
Yeah, it's useful just to have a name for that feeling when your thoughts aren't quite sharp.
It is. Lets people quickly know you're not quite firing on all cylinders mentally. Now, sort of the opposite of feeling clear-headed might be feeling on edge.
Ooh, yeah. Kayla describes this as feeling tense, nervous, maybe easily irritated. The example she gives, like having a huge presentation coming up, that makes sense? Or maybe snapping at someone over something tiny.
Right. It paints that picture of heightened anxiety, like you're jumpy.
Yeah, jumpy is a good word for it.
It's that feeling of being kind of hyper alert, maybe expecting something bad to happen. It can definitely reflect some underlying stress or uncertainty. Have you noticed if people use this more in certain situations, like high pressure jobs maybe?
That's interesting. I haven't noticed like a regional thing, but yeah, it definitely feels more common in high pressure environments or maybe when someone anticipates an argument or something difficult.
Makes sense.
Okay, now let's talk about how people talk. We have to ramble or to ramble on. I think we all know someone.
Indeed. We probably all do it sometimes too. Kayla explains it as talking for a long time, often without really getting to a clear point, or maybe about stuff the listener doesn't find that interesting.
She mentioned people might ramble if they're nervous.
Yeah, or maybe if they're lonely and just want to keep talking. It gives some context. It kind of hints at maybe an American preference for more concise, purposeful communication.
And there's usually a negative feeling about it, right?
Yeah.
Like if someone is rambling, what they're saying isn't seen as super important or organized.
Exactly. You might politely try to steer the conversation back on track if someone's really rambling on. It implies a lack of focus, maybe not respecting the listener's time.
Okay. Next, a phrase to describe someone's character. They aren't the type.
This one's all about our expectations of people based on their personality. Kayla says it means someone doesn't have a particular characteristic you'd associate with them.
The examples she gave were good. Like a really shy person.
Yeah.
They aren't the type to love huge, loud parties.
Right. Or someone known for being incredibly honest, you'd say, no way, they wouldn't lie about that. They just aren't the type.
So it relies on knowing someone's usual behavior.
Exactly. It lets us express surprise or maybe disbelief when someone acts out of character, basically.
Okay, now for a phrase that really ramps up the emotion. I wouldn't be caught dead. Wow, that sounds intense.
It is intense. It's dramatic. Kayla defines it as a super strong way of saying you intensely dislike something or would absolutely under no circumstances ever do it.
Like her examples, I wouldn't be caught dead wearing those shoes.
Or driving that ridiculous car, or eating that super sugary food. It's hyperbolic, obviously, but it gets the point across. Strong aversion.
It's almost funny in its exaggeration. You definitely wouldn't use this for something you just, mildly dislike.
Oh no, this is reserved for things you find embarrassing or totally unacceptable or just really, really hate.
Gotcha. Okay. Shifting again, how things are progressing. Business as usual.
A common one in workplaces, maybe. It means things are just continuing normally, even if there are some unusual circumstances happening.
Kayla's examples were like, having to work during the holidays when most people are off.
Right. Or maybe school stays open even after a little bit of snow. It shows that desire for normalcy, maybe resilience.
Things just keep ticking along.
Exactly. It conveys stability, routine, even when something slightly out of the ordinary has occurred. It can be quite reassuring sometimes.
Okay. Next phrase deals with blame. To turn it around on someone doesn't sound very nice.
No, it definitely describes a negative behavior. It's when someone shifts the responsibility or the fault onto someone else.
Like they make mistakes, but immediately point the finger.
Precisely. Kayla's example. Make a mistake, then instantly say, well, you made me do it, or it was your fault. It's often a defensive tactic in arguments.
A way to dodge taking responsibility. Not great for relationships, I imagine.
Probably not. Okay, let's inject some mystery. The plot has thickened, but the plot thickens. I love these.
Me too. They add drama.
They really do. They signal that a situation has suddenly become way more interesting or more complicated or more mysterious than it first seemed.
Like in a detective story.
Perfect analogy. Kayla uses the example of a simple case suddenly getting new evidence, new twists. That's when you say, ooh, the plot thickens.
Makes you lean in, want to know what happens next.
Exactly. It signals a development that adds complexity. Now, kind of related to figuring things out, we have to put the pieces together.
Or put the puzzle pieces together.
Right. Same idea. It's about solving something, understanding a situation by gathering different clues, different bits of information, and seeing how they connect.
Kayla's examples were good here too. Like investigators figuring out how a car accident happened by looking at all the evidence.
Or maybe guessing that two coworkers are secretly dating based on little clues you've noticed.
Putting the pieces together.
Exactly. It's that process of deduction, using the available info to figure out the bigger picture. The puzzle analogy really works.
Okay, let's talk about handling challenges. To roll with the punches. Sounds like a good life skill.
Oh, it really is. Definitely seen as a positive trait. Kayla defines it as being flexible, adaptable when things go wrong or you hit setbacks.
Her example was tech problems at work.
Yeah. Your computer crashes, the printer breaks. Instead of freaking out, you just find another way. You adapt, you roll with the punches.
It's about not letting those annoyances completely stop you. Finding a way to keep going shows resilience.
Exactly. Mental toughness, a pragmatic attitude. Life throws stuff at you, you just deal with it.
Okay, next one. Kayla advises caution here. Shut up or put up.
Yes, she rightly points out that just saying shut up is pretty rude in most contexts.
So what does the full phrase mean? What's the idea behind it?
The full idiom, shut up or put up, basically means stop complaining about something unless you're actually going to do something to fix it.
Okay. So Kayla's example about cleaning. If someone keeps complaining about how messy the house is, but never helps clean.
That's exactly it. You might eventually snap and say, look, shut up or put up, meaning either stop complaining or grab a broom.
It reflects that sort of American can-do attitude, maybe? Emphasis on action over just complaining?
Could be. It's definitely a direct challenge. Stop whining or do something constructive. But yeah, it's confrontational. Use with care.
Not for everyday polite chat. Got it. Okay, how about a phrase for when you're confused? what am I missing here?
This is such a great one for when you feel like you're just not getting something.
Like Kayla's example.
Yeah.
Everyone seems happy at a party, but one person looks miserable and you just don't understand why.
Right, you feel out of sync. You think, okay, what piece of information do I not have? What am I missing here?
That's a good way to ask for clarification without sounding dumb.
Exactly. It acknowledges your understanding might be incomplete and invites others to fill in the gaps. Helps avoid misunderstandings.
Very useful. Okay, next. A phrase signaling a big realization to get a wake-up call.
Right. Kayla first mentions the literal meaning, like a hotel phone call to wake you up.
Yeah?
But the idiom is much bigger. It's an event, often something negative, that forces you to completely rethink your life or your priorities.
Like losing your job, maybe, and realizing you need to spend more time with family.
That's a classic example she uses. Or having a health scare and suddenly realizing you need to adopt a healthier lifestyle. It's often an unpleasant realization, but a necessary one.
A sudden moment of clarity that forces a change.
Precisely. A catalyst for change, spurred by seeing things differently, often suddenly. Now, let's talk privacy. To keep something to ourselves.
This one seems pretty straightforward.
It is, thankfully. Kayla says it just means not telling everyone, keeping information confidential just between a select group or maybe just two people.
Like waiting to announce an engagement or pregnancy until you're ready.
Perfect example. Or trusting a friend with a secret and asking them to keep it to themselves. It touches on trust and discretion.
Controlling who knows what. Makes sense.
Next, getting down to details. To talk specifics.
Okay, so this means...
It means discussing the nitty-gritty details of something, making concrete plans instead of just talking generally.
Like you agree on a deal in principle, but you say, okay, now we need to sit down and talk specifics, like the exact terms, dates, etc.
Exactly. Or you make vague plans for dinner, like let's grab dinner sometime, and then later you say, okay, let's talk specifics, what day, what time, where.
It's about moving from the general idea to the actual plan, essential for actually making things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, shifting to how we address people, especially if they're being less than polite. Watch your tone.
Yes, the parental favorite.
Exactly. Kayla explains it's a warning. Telling someone to be careful about how they're speaking, the attitude, the rudeness, not just the words themselves.
Like in movies, the parent telling the sassy teenager, hey, watch your tone.
Classic scenario. It focuses on the manner of speaking. It's direct, but maybe slightly less confrontational than saying, don't be rude.
Calls attention to the delivery. Okay. Next, romance. To fall head over heels in love creates quite an image.
It really does. Tumbling, right. Kayla defines it as being intensely in love, totally infatuated with someone, especially early on in a relationship.
That head over heels part really emphasizes being completely overwhelmed by it all.
Exactly. Utterly swept off your feet, completely smitten. It captures that giddy, all-consuming feeling of new love.
Nice. Okay, last one. This is about smooth transitions or reactions. To not miss a beat or didn't miss a beat.
Right. Kaylee connects it back to music like a musician keeping perfect time, never missing a beat in the rhythm.
So in life, it means
reacting really smoothly to something surprising or disruptive, continuing on without faltering or making a mistake.
Her example is a coworker quitting suddenly.
Yeah, but the team just adjusts, picks up the slack, and keeps everything running efficiently. They didn't miss a beat.
So it implies competence, adaptability.
Exactly. Being able to maintain momentum even when something unexpected happens suggests skill and preparedness.
Wow, okay. We actually covered quite a bit there. That was really insightful. These phrases, they offer such a fascinating window, don't they, into the nuances of American English, the culture behind it.
Absolutely. It goes so far beyond just knowing the basic vocabulary words. What's really interesting is how these seemingly simple, short phrases can pack in so much about communication styles, maybe values, social norms.
They're like little cultural shortcuts.
That's a great way to put it. Shortcuts to understanding much more than just the literal definition.
So for you, the learner, listening right now,
Here.
really start to tune your ear. Pay attention to how often you actually hear these phrases. In movies, TV shows, maybe conversations you overhear. Think about which ones kind of resonate with you, which ones you might feel comfortable trying out sometime.
Yeah, give it a go.
Because remember, learning a language, it's just as much about understanding the culture as it is about memorizing grammar rules.
Couldn't agree more. Hopefully this deep dive into these common American English phrases has given you a richer picture of how native speakers actually talk, the subtle layers of meaning in everyday language.
And there's always more to discover, of course.
Always. Actively listening for these kinds of nuances, that's a huge part of the journey.
Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with us into these must-know American English phrases.
My pleasure.
Until our next exploration.
You know that feeling when you're like listening to native English speakers and you get most of it, but then these little phrases just zoom right past you.
Yeah, like you understand the main point, but you feel like you're missing some of the flavor, the nuance.
Exactly. So that's kind of what we're diving into today. Welcome to the deep dive.
Yep, we dig into curated sources to pull out the key stuff, basically.
All to help you, our listener, get really well informed without, all the legwork.
Your fast track to understanding, pretty much. And today, our source is this great YouTube video. It's from English with Kayla.
Right, and she shares a whole bunch of really good advanced English phrases.
Not your standard vocab list,
Yeah.
These are the expressions that native speakers use to add, like color and personality.
So our goal for this deep dive is to get past just the definitions. We really want to unpack how these phrases work in real life.
Yeah, the context, the feeling behind them, how they're actually used.
Okay, so let's start with one maybe we can all relate to. Getting used to something new. The phrase acquired taste.
Right. An acquired taste. It's something you might not like right away, but you kind of grow to enjoy it. You try it more. You start to appreciate it.
It says a lot about how we adapt, doesn't it? How our tastes can change.
For sure.
Kayla used sushi as her example. She mentioned how for a lot of Americans, maybe raw fish, rice, seaweed, it seems a bit weird at first.
Maybe not love at first bite.
Right. She even said, it took her several tries before she actually liked it. It's that process, that journey of appreciation.
Absolutely. And like she said, it's not just food, is it?
No, not at all.
Think about like fashion trends. Stuff that looks odd initially, then suddenly it's everywhere and you kind of get it.
Or music. Certain genres you need to listen a few times before they click.
Yeah. Or even some movies, They need a second watch to really sink in. It's all about that exposure, letting it grow on you.
Okay. Next one paints a funny picture. Googly eyes.
Huh? Yeah, you can almost see them, right? Those shaky cartoon eyes.
But it also means something else, something more affectionate.
It does. It's super informal, though. Playful. When someone's giving someone else googly eyes, it means they're looking at them with, like, total adoration. A crush, basically.
Yeah, Kayla mentioned the crush scenario, that kind of smitten look, when you like someone but haven't said anything yet.
That specific, slightly over-the-top, dreamy stare.
But yeah, key takeaway. Very informal. Don't use it talking to your boss, probably.
Definitely not. And like Kayla also said, sometimes it does just mean those funny plastic eyes you stick on things.
Right, the literal ones. Context tells you which is which.
Totally. Okay, let's switch gears to something really practical. Tie someone over. This one's useful.
Oh, yeah. Tie someone over. It means giving someone a temporary fix, a short-term solution until the real one arrives.
Helping someone get by for a bit.
Exactly.
Kayla had some good examples, like spotting a friend a few bucks till payday. That ties them over.
Right. Or giving someone a snack if they're starving and dinner's still an hour away.
Or even like lending someone a book if they're bored and waiting for something.
Yeah.
It just fills the gap temporarily.
It really underlines that temporary aspect, doesn't it? It's not the final answer, just a bridge.
Exactly. Gets you there until the permanent thing is ready. Okay, next up. Work your magic. This one's interesting. It can be a bit persuasive.
Or it can just show trust.
Right. It's got that duality. It means using your skills, your abilities to get something done. But the intent behind it can vary.
Kayla's example was emailing someone to get a better price, saying, "Can you work your magic?"
Yeah, that's like a playful compliment, right?
Yeah.
Hinting they have some special power to get deals, a bit of gentle persuasion.
But then she also gave the example of asking someone to help clean up and just saying, "Work your magic."
That sounds more like pure trust. Like, I know you're good at this, just do your thing.
So the relationship matters a lot there, you think?
Oh, definitely. With someone you know well, it's probably fine. Taken as encouragement. With a stranger, might sound a bit cheeky.
Good point. Okay, something more tangible now. Hard copy.
Yeah, even with everything digital, hard copy is still around. It just means the paper version. Print it out.
Right. Kayla pointed out, sometimes you just need the physical thing. Easier to read sometimes, need a signature, or maybe someone doesn't have easy digital access.
She even mentioned renting a hard copy of a book, specifically to make it clear it wasn't, an audiobook or on a Kindle.
Simple term, but still necessary sometimes.
Shows paper isn't dead yet.
Yeah.
Okay, how about learning something fast, but maybe not well? A crash course.
A crash course. Yeah, it's that quick, intense intro, just the basics, super fast.
Kayla talked about being a barista and only getting a crash course.
Oh, right, and making mistakes because the training wasn't deep enough.
Exactly. It highlights that bare minimum idea, enough to maybe handle simple stuff, but you're lost if it gets complicated.
Like taking a quick language class before a trip. You learn hello and thank you, but you're not having deep conversations.
Precisely. Just enough to scrape by. Okay, next is a descriptive word, bloodshot.
Bloodshot eyes, you instantly know that look. Red eyes.
Yeah. And Kayla listed the usual suspects. Being tired, that's a big one for most of us, right?
For sure.
But also, intoxication or maybe a medical thing like an eye injury.
It's amazing how one word paints such a clear picture of someone's state. Really efficient.
It really is. Okay, moving on to getting an advantage. Get a head start. Get a head start. Starting something early to get ahead of the competition.
Kaylee used the childhood example, right? Starting a race before the go signal.
Yeah, classic kid move. But it applies way beyond actual races.
Totally. Starting a project early, prepping for a new job, even just doing your Christmas shopping in October. Anything where starting first gives you an edge.
She even mentioned the Head Start program in the U.S., right? The early childhood education program for lower-income kids, giving them a better start for school. Shows how much we value that early advantage, doesn't it?
It really does. Those first steps can make a big difference. Okay, now for politeness. Thank you for going to the trouble.
Such a nice phrase.
Yeah.
It's how you show gratitude when someone's made an extra effort for you, maybe put themselves out a bit.
Kayla's example with her grandmother cooking, even when told not to bother.
Yeah, that's perfect. It acknowledges that effort. You can also use it beforehand, like, oh, please don't go to the trouble, if you want to reassure someone they don't need to make a fuss.
It's just a really considerate way to show you see their effort. Okay, opposite end of the spectrum, being ignored. It went in one ear and out the other.
Huh. Yeah, we've all felt that one, probably. It means someone just wasn't listening, didn't retain a thing you said.
Information just passed straight through.
Like Kayla's image just whoosh through the head. She joked about using it, with spouses sometimes.
Yeah, when advice or requests just seem to vanish. You definitely say it when you're a bit frustrated.
Absolutely. Signals a communication breakdown. Okay, how about when small things snowball? One thing led to another.
Oh, the classic. One thing led to another. Explains how a tiny starting point triggers a whole chain reaction, often unintended.
Kayla had some really relatable ones, like meaning to watch just one YouTube video.
And an hour later, you're still scrolling. Yep.
Or starting a quick tidy up and ending up deep cleaning the whole kitchen.
What's the common element there?
It's that domino effect, right?
Right.
One small step leads to something much bigger, maybe something you didn't plan at all.
Yeah.
And often said with a bit of sheepishness.
Yeah, like I only meant to eat one cookie.
One thing led to another. The whole box is gone.
Exactly. Okay, moving to thoroughness. From soup to nuts.
From soup to nuts. I like this one. It just sounds complete. It means doing something totally comprehensively, beginning to end, covering every single base.
Right. Total coverage. Kayla mentioned a wedding planner doing everything from soup to nuts. Emmy, meaning handling every single detail, start to finish.
Yep. Or a project manager on a construction site overseeing absolutely everything, nothing mess.
It's that real sense of complete management. Okay, more personal now. Get to know each other.
Pretty straightforward, this one. Get to know each other. Just means wanting to learn more about someone, usually building a friendly or maybe professional connection first.
Kayla's examples were good, like suggesting to someone you might be interested in romantically, let's just get to know each other as friends first.
Sets a comfortable pace.
All right.
Or using it at a new job or with a potential business partner. Taking time to build that rapport, that understanding.
Yeah, it stresses building that foundation first. Okay, now for unrestrained action. Go to town.
Go to town! Sounds like a trip, but nope. It means doing something with loads of energy, loads of enthusiasm, really going for it, no holding back.
Kayla's example of kids ripping open Christmas presents.
Yeah, just diving in, total abandon, no taking turns. They're just going to town on those presents.
Or someone on a shopping spree with no budget.
Or digging into your favorite food without worrying about manners. Just pure, unrestrained enthusiasm.
So it's that lack of limits, doing something with gusto.
Pretty much. Usually positive, just lots of energy. Okay, how about indicating a big list? You name it.
You name it. Super useful, casual way to say everything in this category and anything else you can think of usually caps off a list.
Right. Kayla talked about listing music genres. She likes rock, pop, jazz, you name it.
Meaning basically all kinds of music.
Exactly. Or listing cooking skills, baking, grilling, stir-frying, you name it. Suggests a wide range of abilities without listing every single one.
It's conversational shorthand for etc. basically. Okay. Expressing preferences to my liking or for my liking.
Simple one. Means according to your personal taste, what you prefer. Kayla said, like, this tea is too bitter for my liking.
And she mentioned you hear both to and for.
Yeah, to my liking, for my liking. Basically interchangeable. Just means how I prefer it. No real difference.
Gotcha. Okay. Checking for safety. The coast is clear.
The coast is clear. Means no danger around, no obstacles in the way.
And Kayla pointed out it doesn't have to be a literal coast, right?
Nope. Any situation where you're checking if it's safe to proceed. Her example was wanting to leave work early and asking a coworker, is the boss around? Is the coast clear?
So the coast is just the absence of the boss in that case.
Exactly. It's the all clear signal. Okay, shared problems. Yeah. We're in the same boat.
We're in the same boat means you're facing the same difficulty as someone else. Nothing to do with actual boats.
Totally metaphorical.
Yeah.
Kayla's example. You didn't get the boss's email. Your coworker says, me neither. We're in the same boat.
Right. It creates that sense of shared experience, maybe a bit of comfort knowing you're not alone in the problem.
Exactly. Solidarity. Okay, related but different. We're out of the woods.
Out of the woods means the difficult or dangerous part is over. You're past it now.
Yeah, to a safer spot. Kayla used the storm example. Storm passes, danger's gone. You might say, phew, I think you're out of the woods now.
Signifies the worst is behind you. That feeling of relief.
Okay, finding the good and the bad. A blessing in disguise.
A blessing in disguise. Something looks bad at first, seems like bad luck, but turns out to be good later on.
Finding that hidden benefit.
Kayla's example was missing a party because she was busy.
Then realizing it was good because she got sick later and didn't spread it at the party.
Right.
What seemed like a bummer turned out okay.
Yeah, the negative had a positive twist. Makes you look for the upside. Okay. Unexpected expense. Break the bank.
Break the bank. Means something costs a lot more than you expected. Maybe more than you can really afford easily.
Kayla mentioned getting her carpets cleaned professionally. Glad she did it, but...
It costs way more than she thought.
Yeah.
It kind of broke the bank. Implies a significant, maybe surprising cost.
Definitely gets that point across. Okay, a very American one. The whole 9 yards.
The whole 9 yards means everything. The complete package, all of it. Using every possible resource.
And like Kayla said, the origin is fuzzy, right? WWII, ammo belts, cement mixers, tailor's fabric. Nobody knows for sure.
Nope. It's a bit of a mystery. But the meaning is clear. Completeness. Going all out. Her examples were good. A wedding with everything.
Photographer, video, DJ, food, decor, the whole 9 yards.
Or a company with amazing benefits, health, paid time off, parental leave. The whole 9 yards. It's about total comprehensiveness.
Got it. Okay. Forefront of innovation. The cutting edge.
The cutting edge. The newest, most advanced stuff in a field. The latest innovation.
Kayla talked about iPods being cutting edge back in the day.
Right, whereas now it's more like smartphones, streaming, maybe AI in certain areas, like language learning. It's whatever's the most modern, most advanced right now.
That leading point of development. Okay, something positive and refreshing. A breath of fresh air.
A breath of fresh air. Someone or something new that brings a welcome, positive change. A nice contrast to what was there before.
Kayla's examples. A new positive coworker replacing a negative one.
Yeah. Totally changes the vibe. Or new furniture making a room feel completely different, refreshed. It's that feeling of positive newness.
Very positive vibe to that one. Okay. Wanting involvement in success. A piece of the action.
The piece of the action.
Right.
Wanting to be part of something potentially profitable or successful. An investment, a business, whatever.
Kayla mentioned it's common in business talk and in movies too.
Yeah. Her example. Friends starting a restaurant, you think it'll do well, so you ask for a piece of the action. You want in on the potential success.
Wanting your share of the benefits. Makes sense. Okay, ending conflict. Bury the hatchet.
Bury the hatchet means stop arguing, end the conflict, make peace, and try to get along again.
Kayla put it simply, wanting to stop fighting and reconcile, like wanting to patch things up with someone after you've had problems.
Exactly. Putting the disagreement behind you, making peace.
Signifies reconciliation. Okay, another one about cost. Cost a pretty penny.
Cost a pretty penny. Just means it was expensive, quite costly. more informal than saying it was very expensive.
Kayla's example was seeing someone with a fancy watch or bag and thinking, wow, that must have cost a pretty penny.
Right. But she also added that little warning.
Yeah, use it carefully. Could sound a bit nosy.
Exactly. Commenting on costs can be tricky. It's a bit indirect.
Good advice. Okay, straightforwardness. Cut and dry or cut and dried.
Means predictable, clear rules, obvious outcome, not much room for doubt or interpretation. And Kayla mentioned the slight difference in saying it.
Right, cut and dry versus cut and dried. She uses dry, maybe dried is more dictionary or British.
Something like that. But the meaning's the same.
Yeah.
Clear cut. Her example comparing MMA judging, not cut and dry, to soccer handball rules, definitely cut and dry, was perfect.
Yeah, highlights that lack of ambiguity. Okay, now one with potentially opposite meanings. Set in stone.
Set in stone. Usually means official, unchangeable, fixed, like carving something in stone.
But, and this is the important part Kayla stressed.
Right. It's very often used in the negative to mean the opposite. Nothing's set in stone yet. Meaning plans are not final, they can still change.
So context is absolutely crucial for that one. You gotta listen carefully.
Totally. Huge difference. Okay, plans failing completely, go up in smoke.
Go up in smoke. Means the plan is totally ruined. It's gone. Cannot happen. Often implies it happens suddenly or unexpectedly.
Yeah, like everything just disintegrated. Kayla's wedding plans example, car breaks down, whole plan goes up in smoke. That feeling of complete collapse.
Total failure of the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Making things up. Make something up out of thin air.
Make something up out of thin air means inventing something, fabricating it, with zero factual basis, just pulling it out of nowhere.
Kayla stressed the no evidence part, often used when someone's trying to win an argument by, well, lying.
Pretty much. Creating something from imagination, no truth to it at all.
Definitely paints a picture of pure invention.
Wow.
Okay, that was quite the tour through some really useful English phrases.
It really was. Amazing how much meaning and cultural context gets packed into these expressions.
Absolutely. Understanding them isn't just about knowing more words, it's about getting how people really talk.
And it adds so much more depth to how you can express yourself too.
So here's a thought to leave you with. Start listening for these. Notice them in conversations, movies, books. Which ones kind of stuck with you today?
Yeah, which ones feel like you could actually use them? Think about how adding even one or two could make your own communication a bit richer, you know?
It's all about adding those layers, making those connections. Welcome to the deep dive.
Hello.
So our mission today, it's exploring advanced English vocabulary. We're looking at a YouTube transcript, one with 100 adjectives.
100. That's quite a list.
It is. And we're here to pull out the really valuable bits for you, the listener.
Right. So you get the insights without, getting lost in just a massive list.
Exactly. Boosting your word power, understanding those little nuances.
And these words, they're not just academic, are they? They actually pop up everywhere.
Oh, totally. Conversations, news, books, movies, they're out there.
So it's practical stuff, whether you need it for work or just, personal growth.
Precisely. And looking at them with real examples, like in this video, that really helps cement the meaning, doesn't it?
It does. You get the definition, sure, but also the feel of the word, the context. When does it actually sound right?
Now, the video cleverly breaks these 100 words into sets of 10.
With little reviews along the way, I saw.
Yeah, which is smart. So we'll follow that structure, really dig into each one. Ready to start with the first 10?
Let's do it.
Okay, number 1. Debatable. Debatable. Stress on that second syllable.
Debatable, right? So something people don't agree on. No single clear answer.
The example was, money can't buy happiness. That's debatable.
This is a good one. Pretty neutral word, too. Not really formal or informal.
And they also mentioned pineapple on pizza being a debatable choice.
Ah, the classic debate. Where do you stand on that one? Personally, I'm a yes.
Huh. Well, that is debatable. It links right back to the noun debate, a discussion, right?
Exactly. It signals differing views. No easy answer.
Okay, next up. Picky.
Picky. Generally neutral, but yeah, it often sounds a bit negative, doesn't it?
It does. Someone with very specific tastes rejects other things, like the example, my daughter is a picky eater.
I don't want that or that. We've all met someone picky, I think.
Oh, for sure. That negativity, even if subtle, it suggests they're maybe a bit difficult or inflexible.
Yeah, more than just having preferences.
All right, number 3 is absurd. Absurd.
Absurd. Stress on the absurd.
Means illogical, unreasonable, Almost ridiculous, maybe even annoying.
Like the example, $2,000 a month for a one-bedroom. That's absurd.
Totally absurd. Or, my dog ate my car keys as an excuse for missing a meeting.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely qualifies. It's so illogical, it feels almost unreal, but maybe frustratingly unreal.
And they mention hand in, meaning submit. Just a side note there.
Right.
Number 4, washed up.
Washed up.
Washed up. This one's pretty neutral, describes someone usually famous who isn't successful anymore.
Like actors, athletes. The pop star was called washed up after her album failed.
And the video pointed out the hyphen, right? When it comes before the noun, like a washed up actor.
Yeah, good point. It acts like one single descriptor then. Shows that decline from their peak.
A whole story in 2 words.
Okay, 5th one. Lighthearted. Lighthearted.
Lighthearted. Positive, neutral formality.
Means fun, not serious, doesn't need deep thought, can have a hyphen or not.
Like comedians making lighthearted jokes at charity events.
Exactly. Now compare that to number 6. Lightheaded. Lightheaded. Ah, yeah. Similar sound, totally different meaning. And this one's negative.
Definitely. Feeling dizzy, unsteady. If I stand up too quickly, I get lightheaded.
It's a great example of how just a small sound change shifts the meaning completely. Gotta listen carefully.
You really do. Okay, number 7, dumbfounded.
Dumbfounded.
Dumbfounded. And remember that silent B.
Right. Means totally shocked, confused, can't even speak.
It's like that classic cartoon expression, eyes wide, mouth open.
Yeah. The example. We were all dumbfounded when the teacher said the exam was open book.
It's that specific shock where your brain just stops for a second.
Okay, next. Obsequious.
Obsequious.
Ooh, that's a more formal one.
Great.
Obsequious. Stress on the second syllable.
Yeah, definitely formal. And negative. Someone trying way too hard to please, maybe insincerely.
Like Eric in the example, his obsequious attitude, you couldn't tell if he was genuine.
Right, doesn't feel good. Using it in casual chat might even sound a bit, well, odd.
Or sarcastic, maybe.
Could be. Number 9, vacant.
Vacant. Neutral word. 2 main meanings here.
First, not occupied. Like a vacant parking lot.
Or a vacant apartment.
Right. Second meaning, a blank expression. My students' vacant stares.
Uh-oh. Means they weren't paying attention.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's about absence, physical space, or mental engagement.
Interesting connection. Absence.
And the last one for this set, number 10.
Moving. Moving.
Moving. Neutral formality, but yeah, definitely emotional.
Causes strong feelings, sadness, empathy, joy. Powerful songs can be incredibly moving.
Or a speech, like the cancer survivor example. It hits you emotional.
Doesn't specify which emotion, just that it's strong.
Yeah, the intensity of the impact.
So that's our first 10. The video has a review quiz here. We won't do the quiz, but just absorbing these is a great start.
Absolutely. 10 down, 90 to go.
Right. Let's move to segment 2, numbers 11 through 20, starting with tasteful. Tasteful.
Tasteful, neutral, positive, describes something elegant, shows good judgment, decor, clothes.
Like Anne-Marie's tasteful black dress. Simple but elegant.
And the immediate contrast in the video is
Number 12. Tacky.
Tacky.
Tacky. Also neutral formality, but negative meaning. Cheap looking. Lacks sophistication.
like the best boss ever mug with glitter. Kinda tacky, but maybe funny in context.
And it can describe behavior too, right? Like oversharing online.
Good point, yes. Okay, 13. Incessant.
Incessant. Can be negative neutral, means something undesirable that just doesn't stop.
My colleagues' complaints are incessant? Ugh. We've all known something like that, probably.
That feeling of it being relentless, never ending.
Yeah.
Irritating.
Exactly. 14. Laughable. Laughable.
Laughable. Again, negative or neutral, something so ridiculous you have to laugh, but not in a good way.
Like Zach's dog ate my keys excuse. Laughable. Nobody believed it.
Yeah, the laughter isn't amusement. It's more like disbelief or dismissal.
Definitely not a compliment. 15. Immature.
Immature.
Immature. Usually negative, sometimes neutral, acting younger than your age.
Like Sandra rolling her eyes at the team leader's idea.
Right. The video even showed the eye roll. It implies a lack of expected maturity or responsibility.
16. Versatile.
Versatile. Also, positive neutral. Means it can be used in many different ways.
I like the potato analogy. Fries, mashed, baked. So versatile.
Or the black blazer example for a wardrobe. Adaptable, useful for many things.
Speaks to efficiency functionality. Okay, 17. Deceitful. Deceitful.
Deceitful. Negative, neutral formality. Describes someone who lies, tries to trick you.
The example about car salesmen using deceitful tactics.
Pretending to be nice, but not genuine. which leads straight into number 18.
Two-faced.
It's also negative, neutral, acts friendly, but then is mean or disloyal behind your back, deceitful in interactions.
Don't trust her. She's been two-faced.
And the video made a useful distinction here. Deceitful is about the act of lying itself.
Whereas two-faced is more about the inconsistent behavior, the disloyalty to people.
Exactly. Subtle but important difference.
Okay, 19. So-called.
So-called. Neutral. Use this when you doubt the description or name being used. Like, this so-called healthy snack has more sugar than a candy bar. You're questioning the label healthy.
It's like putting invisible quotation marks around the word. You don't fully endorse it.
Right. And number 20, the last for this segment, cathartic. Cathartic. Stress on thar. This one leans formal, though the speaker said she likes using it.
Means releasing strong emotions, feeling better afterward.
Like crying can be cathartic, an emotional release, a purging.
The video joked you might need a cathartic cry after learning 100 adjectives.
Huh. Maybe. Leads to relief. Renewal.
So that's 20 down. Another review in the video at this point. Ready for the next 10? 31 through 40. Oh, wait. Sorry, 21 through 30. Getting ahead of myself.
Easy to do. Okay, 21. Swanky.
Swanky. One syllable. Neutral, positive, expensive, stylish, meant to impress.
Like staying in a swanky hotel. It's not just expensive, it's deliberately flashy.
Showing off the style and wealth a bit.
22. Extravagant. Extravagant. Neutral, sometimes positive, spending way more money than needed. Luxurious, showy.
Like the extravagant outfits at the fashion show.
The video said it's not always negative. Sometimes you want that over-the-top feel.
Right. It's a deliberate step away from just being practical.
Okay, 23. Quaint. One syllable.
Quaint. Neutral, positive. Attractive because it's old-fashioned. Maybe a bit unusual. Charming.
We drove by lots of quaint cottages. It often evokes nostalgia.
And the video compared this to?
Number 24. Picturesque.
Picturesque. Also neutral and positive. Beautiful scene, like a painting or photo. Landscapes, villages.
The difference often being quaint is maybe one thing, picturesque is the whole view, though they can overlap.
Yeah, that was the general idea. A broader scope for picturesque usually.
25. Tedious.
Neutral, negative. Tasks that are long, boring, repetitive. Frustrating.
Do you find learning English grammar tedious? Some might say yes.
It's that draining feeling, no real stimulation, just long and boring.
Got it. 26. Misleading.
Neutral, negative. Gives a wrong impression, makes you believe something untrue, even if not an outright lie.
Like misleading ads or those YouTube thumbnails that promise something the video doesn't deliver.
Right. It implies an intent to create a false perception, maybe by leaving things out.
27. Touchy.
Neutral, negative. Can describe a person who gets easily offended.
Like Marissa getting touchy about criticism.
Or a subject that's likely to cause arguments, like politics often is.
So it's about sensitivity, potential for emotional reaction. Need to be careful.
Diplomatic, yeah.
Number 28. Terrific.
Terrific, neutral, positive. Just means great, amazing, very good.
The speaker admitted it's maybe not super advanced, but liked it as an alternative to very good.
And that's fair. Sometimes it's just about having more expressive options for common ideas. Terrific is perfectly fine.
Okay, 29. Discreet.
Discreet, neutral, positive. Being careful not to attract attention or reveal secrets. Not easily noticed.
Like hotels having a discreet entrance at the back for privacy.
It implies tact, awareness of social boundaries, respecting privacy.
And number 30, rounding out the set. Loyal.
Neutral, positive, dedicated, faithful to someone or something, even when it's hard.
The video used dogs and knights as classic examples.
Right. Or Anna being a loyal employee for 15 years. It's about steadfast commitment, unwavering.
Are you a loyal customer to any brands? Something to think about. Okay, another 10. We're powering through. That's 30 adjectives covered. The video has another review here. Now let's get into numbers 31 to 40. Starting with detrimental. Detrimental, neutral, negative, causes harm or damage to health, progress, whatever.
Smoking is detrimental to your health, and the video pointed out that detrimental to something, structure.
Yeah, it flags those negative consequences, potential harm.
32. Superficial. Mostly negative, but can be neutral, literally. Two main meanings.
Literally, just on the surface, not deep, like a superficial paper cut.
Right. But figuratively, it's about someone only concerned with appearances, lacking depth, That's the critical meaning.
Yeah, judging by the surface, not valuing character.
Exactly. A lack of substance.
33. Awful. Awful.
Awful. Neutral, negative, terrible, very bad, horrible.
That movie was awful. The speaker suggested using this instead of just very bad. More impact.
That's a strong, common word, good for expressing strong dislike.
34. Questionable. Questionable.
Questionable. Neutral, negative. You have doubts because it might not be true or right.
The video linked it back to debatable. If it's questionable, it invites question.
Like Megan's story about losing $1,000 sounding questionable. It raises suspicion, needs checking.
Got it. 35. Tough. Tough. One syllable.
Tough, neutral. Two main meanings again. Difficult.
Like learning English tenses can be tough.
Or strong, durable. Like tough denim material.
It can also mean resilient, like a tough person. Very versatile word.
Yeah, context usually makes it clear which tough you mean.
36. Preposterous.
Yeah.
Preposterous.
Preposterous, neutral, negative, completely absurd, ridiculous, unbelievable.
A synonym for absurd, the video said, maybe even stronger.
The idea that aliens built the pyramids is preposterous. It's just totally illogical.
Okay, now a texture pair. 37 and 38. Chewy and gooey.
Chewy, chewy. Neutral, positive, or negative, depending. Soft food needing sustained chewing. Some candies, bread.
And gooey. Gooey. Also neutral, often negative unless it's like melted cheese or chocolate. Soft and sticky.
Like caramel or glue. They really engage your sense of mouthfeel, those words. Chewy resists, gooey is sticky.
Good descriptions. 39. Content. Content.
Content. Neutral, positive. Feeling satisfied with your life, situation, no major complaints.
I have never been more content than I am right now. Sitting by the fire example, peaceful satisfaction.
A feeling of ease, having enough.
And number 40, last one for this block.
Insipid. Insipid, neutral, negative. Lacking flavor, interest, excitement. Bland, boring.
Can describe food, experiences, even people. The presentation was insipid.
Yeah, suggests a real lack of anything stimulating. No vitality, just
Right. And that's 40. Another review test in the source video here. We're moving into the second half now, adjectives 41 through 50, starting with generic. Generic.
Generic, neutral, often a bit negative with products. Lacks specific features, no brand name, typical.
Like generic medicine or store brand cereal. Functional, but maybe not special.
Lacks individuality.
42. Eye-opening.
Eye-opening. Neutral, positive. An experience that teaches you something surprising changes your view.
Traveling can be an eye-opening experience. When did you last have an eye-opening moment?
Good question. It signifies a real revelation, a new perspective.
43. Critical. Critical. Neutral. This one's tricky. Has three main meanings.
First, finding fault, criticizing.
Second, extremely important. Essential, like a critical update.
And third, relating to a serious, dangerous situation, like critical condition.
So context is absolutely key for critical.
Definitely. 44. Viral.
No.
Viral. Neutral. Two main uses again. First, relating to a medical virus.
And second, spreading incredibly fast online. Social media stuff. Going viral.
Yeah, that online meaning borrows from the rapid spread idea in biology.
Clever.
45. Excruciating. Excruciating.
Excruciating. Neutral, negative. Extremely painful or difficult to endure. Physical or emotional pain.
After knee surgery, the excruciating pain or waiting for news can feel excruciating.
It really emphasizes that extreme level of suffering, pushing the limit of bearable.
46.
Arable.
Arable. Neutral.
Bearable.
Describes land suitable for growing crops.
The video mentioned learning it from Clarkson's farm. Only a small part of this island is arable.
That's a bit more specific,
Yeah.
related to agriculture, yeah. Cultivable land.
Okay, now 47 through 50 are a group. Weird looking, funny looking, strange looking, odd looking.
Right. All neutral. Basically mean unusual appearance, not typical.
And funny here means strange, not humorous.
They're often pretty interchangeable, aren't they? Just slight variations on not normal looking.
Seems like it. Okay, another review test moment in the video. And now, 51 through 60, starting with amicable.
Amicable.
Neutral, positive. Describes a situation, relationship, agreement that's friendly, no hostility, even after disagreement.
Like Dylan and Kate staying amicable after breaking up.
Goodwill, peaceful resolution.
Exactly. Absence of hostility.
52 is kind of the opposite. Contentious. Contentious.
Contentious. Neutral, negative. A topic or issue likely to cause arguments, disagreement.
The meeting became highly contentious when they debated budget cuts. Signals potential conflict.
Strong opposing views. Needs careful handling.
53. Evident. Evident.
Evident, neutral, positive. Clear, obvious, easily understood.
It was evident Sarah put a lot of effort in. Easily seen, requires no proof.
Readily apparent.
54. Considerable. Considerable.
Neutral, large or significant enough to be noticed. Amounts, effort, skill.
You've made considerable progress in your English, worthy of attention, important degree. Now, number 55 sounds similar, but isn't. Considerate. Considerate.
Considerate. Neutral, positive, thoughtful, kind, thinks about others' feelings.
Please be considerate and turn off your phone.
And the opposite, 56, is inconsiderate. Inconsiderate.
Neutral. Negative. Rude doesn't think about others' needs or feelings.
Like talking loudly on your phone in public. Very inconsiderate.
That pair really shows the spectrum of social awareness, doesn't it?
It does. How our actions affect others.
57. Absorbent. Absorbent.
Absorbent, neutral. Able to soak up liquids or information.
Like a sponge or a kid learning language. Capacity to take things in.
Retain them, yeah.
58. Resilient. Resilient.
Resilient, neutral, positive, able to recover quickly from difficulties, bounce back.
Like Sarah failing the exam but being resilient and studying harder.
Highlights that ability to withstand setbacks, stay positive.
59. Ideal. Ideal.
Ideal, neutral, positive, perfect, the best possible.
What would be your ideal vacation? Represents the standard of perfection.
The video mentioned a flight with 2 layovers is not ideal. Understatement.
Right. And 60, finishing this set. Odious.
Odious.
Odious, neutral, negative, extremely unpleasant, hateful, disgusting. People, tasks, behavior.
Like the example of cleaning the outdoor bathroom as being an odious task.
Conveys strong revulsion, intense dislike. Deeply offensive.
Okay, another review test in the video, the speaker called this one maybe the toughest. 60 down. Moving into 61 to 70. Starting with chubby.
Chubby.
Chubby. Generally neutral, often positive, pleasantly plump, especially for babies or kids.
I love kissing my niece's chubby little cheeks. The video mentioned cherubs, those chubby little angels in art.
Right. It often suggests endearment, healthiness in the young. Cute, rounded.
62.
Beloved.
Beloved, formal, positive, deeply loved, cherished.
The speaker really stressed the formality here, more for literature, speeches, memorials than everyday chat.
Saying goodbye to one of our most beloved teachers. It elevates the affection, gives it weight.
Now a contrasting pair. 63, ethical. Ethical, neutral, positive, about principles of right and wrong.
And 64, unethical. Unethical, neutral, negative, violating those principles.
The video used the angel devil imagery and examples like cloning or ethically sourced food.
Fundamental terms for discussing morality. Our choices.
65 and 66 are synonyms for crowded, rammed, and packed.
Rammed, packed, packed. Both neutral, negative, unpleasant feeling of being crammed in.
Rammed is more British English, apparently. The subway was absolutely packed.
Vivid words for that squeezed-in discomfort.
67. Uneasy.
Uneasy.
Uneasy, neutral, negative, feeling discomfort, worry, slight anxiety.
Makes me uneasy to ask for help. A mild apprehension, maybe no clear cause.
A lack of comfort.
68. Sketchy.
Sketchy.
Sketchy. Informal, negative. Not safe, reliable, or honest. Gives a sense of danger or untrustworthiness.
Like people or places. The man who sold me this bike looked a bit sketchy.
Yeah, triggers caution, suspicion. Something might not be quite right.
69.
Yep.
Doable.
Doable. Informal. Positive. Possible to achieve, accomplish.
Learning all 100 adjectives is definitely doable. Encouraging, practical word.
Suggests it's feasible, within reach.
And 70, last for this block.
Flammable. 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 Neutral, but a warning. Catches fire easily.
And the funny thing, the synonym is inflammable, even with the in prefix.
That's a classic English language quirk. Huge potential for confusion there. Best stick to flammable for clarity, perhaps.
Good advice. Okay, another review. We are in the home stretch now, the final 30, 71 through 80, starting with pushy. Pushy.
Pushy. Negative, neutral formality. Tries to force you to do something. Insistent, unpleasant.
The sales assistant was so pushy, lacks respect for boundaries, uncomfortable pressure.
Right. 72. Loquacious.
Loquacious.
Loquacious. Neutral or positive. Means talks a lot. Talkative. It's the more formal option.
And the informal synonym, number 73, is just talkative. Talkative.
Also neutral. My new coworker is really talkative. And remember the silent "l" in talkative. Right. Loquacious might sound slightly more appreciative, maybe. Talkative is just the everyday word.
74. Reasonable. Reasonable.
Reasonable. Neutral, positive, fair, logical, sensible, or a price that's not too high.
I don't think it's reasonable to expect a reply today. Based on logic, fairness, not extreme.
Right. 75. Indifferent. Indifferent.
Indifferent. Neutral. No particular interest or sympathy. Neither good nor bad. Like shrugging.
I am indifferent when it comes to politics. Just no strong feeling either way.
Now 76 is related but different. Apathetic.
Apathetic. Apathetic. This one's negative. Also shows no interest, but specifically towards something important, carries a negative feeling.
Many young people are feeling apathetic about their futures. That sounds more worrying than just indifferent.
Exactly. Indifferent is general lack of concern. Apathetic is lack of engagement with things that should matter.
Okay. 77. Biased.
Biased.
Biased. Negative or neutral. Favors one side unfairly, based on preference, not facts. The sports commentator was clearly biased toward one team, often used with toward.
Implies lack of impartiality and unfair perspective.
Now a trio meaning very rich. 78. Loaded. Loaded.
Noted. Informal, almost slang. Ian is loaded. He bought a Lamborghini.
79. Wealthy. Wealthy. More formal than loaded.
Funded by several wealthy investors.
And 80. Affluent.
Yeah.
Affluent suggests money plus social status, maybe inherited wealth.
Only children from affluent families.
Yeah.
Yeah, it carries connotations of established financial comfort and class.
Shows how words for rich carry different social weight.
Definitely.
Okay, another review test in the video. This one focused on choosing the best fit and formality, down to the last 20, 81 to 90, starting with malicious. Malicious.
Malicious, negative, intending to do harm. Deliberately harmful.
Someone began spreading a malicious rumor, underscores that harmful intent.
Right. 82. Gourmet. Gourmet. Remember the silent T.
Gourmet. Neutral or positive. High quality, expensive, skillfully prepared food.
The speaker did that little hand gesture. A gourmet meal at a swanky restaurant. Signifies refinement. Quality.
83 and 84 are synonyms, understaffed and short-staffed, meaning not enough staff.
Understaffed, short-staffed, both neutral, negative. Practical terms for when a business is struggling with numbers.
Thank you for your patience. We're really short-staffed today. We've probably all heard that.
Or said it.
Now a set of father-proof adjectives, 85 to 88. Waterproof, soundproof, bulletproof, childproof.
Waterproof, soundproof.
Childproof.
Childproof, all neutral, straightforward descriptors.
Meaning they prevent water, sound, bullets, or kids getting in, resistance, or protection.
89.
Yeah.
Goofy. Goofy.
Doofy, positive, informal, silly, endearingly foolish, playful.
Like the cartoon character. My little brother makes these goofy faces, lighthearted silliness.
Well-intentioned fun. And 90, last for this set. Swamped.
Swamped, one syllable.
Swamped. Negative, neutral formality. Extremely busy, lots of work.
I wish I could help, but I'm swamped.
Vividly conveys being overwhelmed.
Feeling buried in tasks.
Okay, another review. And now the final 10. 91 to 100. Let's bring it home. 91. Apprehensive. Apprehensive.
Apprehensive. Neutral, negative. Anxious or fearful about the future.
Gina felt apprehensive about flying. Unease, anticipating something bad might happen.
Yeah, 92. Candid. Candid.
Candid, neutral, honest, straightforward, even if blunt or uncomfortable.
I appreciated Michael's candid feedback. Prioritizes honesty, directness.
93.
Arduous.
Arduous.
Arduous. Neutral, negative. Difficult, needing lots of effort and energy. Tasks, journeys.
Completing the project was an arduous challenge. Emphasizes how strenuous, demanding it was.
Significant exertion needed.
94. Poignant. Poignant, silent G.
Poignant. Neutral, often evokes sadness, causes strong feeling of sadness or regret.
The video compared it to moving, but said poignant often specifically relates to sadness.
A poignant story of a homeless mother's struggles. Deep emotional impact, often bittersweet or sorrowful.
95. Deferential.
Deferential. Deferential. Neutral, positive, showing respect, polite submission, often to someone of higher status.
Iris remained deferential toward her teachers. Willingness to yield, showing respect through behavior.
Right, 96. Intrepid. Intrepid.
Rapid, neutral, positive. Brave, fearless, adventurers, people facing danger.
The intrepid journalist ventured into war zones. Courageous, unwavering spirit.
97. Petty, petty.
Petty. Negative. Unimportant. Trivial. Concerned with small things, often mean-spiritedly.
The video used the Friends clip and the petty rules about coffee mugs example.
Highlights the insignificance, suggests small-mindedness.
98. Lax. Lax.
Lax.
No.
Negative. Not strict or careful enough. Linked to relaxed, but inappropriately so.
Parents criticize the teacher for being too lax, lack of rigor, control.
Potentially bad consequences.
99. Illegible. Illegible.
Illegible. Negative. Handwriting or print that can't be read.
If your answers are illegible, they'll be marked incorrect. A failure of written communication. Can't decipher it.
Simple as that.
And finally, number 100. Horse. Horse. Silent H.
Horse. Negative or neutral. Rough, croaking voice from a sore throat or shouting.
The speaker joked they might be hoarse by the end of the video.
Huh? Understandable. Sorry if I'm a bit hoarse today. Describes that physical voice condition.
And that is 100. Wow, we made it.
We did. That was quite a sprint through some very useful words.
It really was. And look, if you're listening and feeling a bit overwhelmed, that's totally normal.
Absolutely. Even remembering, say, 10 or 20 of these and starting to use them, that's a huge win.
Definitely. Maybe think about which ones stood out to you. Which ones could you actually use, like tomorrow?
It really is amazing how having the right word can make your descriptions so much clearer, more vivid.
It refines how you understand things and how you express yourself. That precision matters, doesn't it?
It really does.
So maybe a final thought for you. How might consciously expanding your vocabulary like this change the way you engage with the world around you?
Something to ponder.
And remember, the deep dive can tackle all sorts of learning paths, whatever sparks your interest. This has been a deep dive into, well, making your English even richer.
Until next time.
Thanks for joining us.